To item 9C, discuss and consider possible CDBG application for the Alleghany Highlands to assist with COVID-19 pandemic. John?
So in your packet under item 9C-1, you have some information from the Community Development Block Grant Program. We've had, I've spoke directly with Matt Weaver, who runs the program, and then we had a conference call with regional groups, Chamber of Commerce, Covington, Clifton Forge, and our EDC, and Matt Weaver last week about submitting a regional application to them to try to assist with some form or fashion of a program for the community as a whole through the funding that's come to CDBG. It's an unusual circumstance for them to find themselves in, and they're trying to navigate it as well as to exactly what a program will look like. Our initial thought is to, if we are able to apply for it, is to supplement with additional dollars the program that was rolled out regionally last week by the EDC and the Chamber of Commerce and the two downtown organizations where local small businesses can apply. And that program initially has a 20 business cap at $1,500 available for small businesses. One idea that we had as a group and have discussed with DHCD is make an application to them for additional money to supplement that program to either increase the number of businesses that may be eligible or increase the dollar amounts to applicants. I don't know that that will be acceptable to DHCD. They're still working through and trying to determine exactly how they can disperse the funds. You'll notice that they have 3 goals at the top, and this is money that came through the CARES Act federal stimulus program, where they assist units of local government and communities to respond to health and economic impact of COVID-19, best practices for network and resource sharing, and so you know, they can provide those dollars. One of the original pieces of information that came out is also there's maybe dollars to help transition your economy. So for the manufacturer of PPE domestically instead of globally, and trying to bring back some of that business, so taking existing facilities or buildings in the communities and applying for dollars to transition the buildings, and also to train a workforce for potential job creation. So the reason why this is on your agenda tonight, we don't need any action. We're not asking for any action, but DHCD requires it to be discussed at least 2 board meetings. And so this will count as the first meeting. As we get additional guidance from them on what we could use the funds for, we'll bring back to you a more concrete proposal for your consideration at a second meeting. This is also, even though it's technically tonight you're not holding a public hearing, it satisfies DHCD's guidelines for public hearing. And the only thing that they asked is that if we received any comments from folks about the agenda item, that we read them into the minutes and discuss them to satisfy that requirement. That is the one comment that we discussed earlier, and it's from Ms. Gayle Hillert. And so you all have a copy of this at your seat, and I will read it into the record just to make sure we satisfy DHCD. So if you'll just bear with me, it's several paragraphs long. Gayle Hillert, Historic Masonic Theatre, 510 Main Street, Clifton Forge. Thank you for the opportunity to address the board regarding the need for CDBG grant applications. On the COVID-19 section of the CDBG website under Community Development, the overview includes the statements that community development activities build stronger and more resilient communities. These activities address economic development projects, public facilities, community centers, and public services, among others. It also states that this requires systematic and sustained action by state and local government. The implication is that offering assistance to these types of organizations, nonprofits, in addition to local businesses, is a duty and responsibility of local governments. Our world, our country, and our community is undergoing a human and health crisis, which has led to an economic crisis for our residents, our nonprofits and businesses, and our local governments. CDBG community development grants provide flexible grants to help cities, counties, and states recover from declared federal disasters. The grants focus on low-income areas. We're in a low-income area. A national disaster was declared on March 13th, and I can guarantee you that Alleghany Highlands nonprofits and small businesses desperately need assistance to recover. In a region like ours, the fabric of the community is stitched together by nonprofits as well as small businesses. Since March, although I've applied for over a dozen grants and financial assistance programs, because the Historic Masonic Theatre is a nonprofit, we often do not qualify for what is currently available. 45% of our revenue is unearned revenue. Donations, pledges, and grants have been and will be severely affected by the economic ramifications of COVID-19. Our earned revenue is determined by rentals and ticket sales. We have had no revenue since March 14th, yet the bills continue to arrive right on time. Nonprofits experience a double disaster, loss of both unearned and earned revenue, and as a result, nonprofit discussions have gone from sustainability to survivability. Yet in the case of theater, our existence goes beyond our own survival to the survival of the community. 35% of our programs are community programs offered free of charge. Our economic impact on Alleghany Highlands is $2.3 million. Huge. Because our losses during this crisis are also huge, the ability to contribute to the region is significant. We are not asking for a handout. We are asking for a partnership where we also provide significant economic, social, and educational impact to the community. In your CDBG discussions and decision-making regarding offering grants to the region, please include nonprofits as well as small businesses. If possible, the grants should offer easily obtained cash flow solutions to nonprofits. Our intangible contributions to our region include resiliency, strength, comfort, familiarity, a place to celebrate, a place to gather, a place to heal. Our community is going to need all of these things once we are out in the open again.
Thank you, John. Are we taking, what, we need to just approve the application process? Nothing. It's just
to do anything
because it's been read.
We're required by them to brief you, do it twice. This is the first briefing, and it'll allow us to accelerate if we are able to get an application in, if we won't have to have two subsequent meetings.
John, may I ask the question that I think you probably are the one with the expertise to answer this? CDBG grants are open to nonprofits, is that correct? At least some of them would be?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I just wanted to verify that and be public with it, because that was my understanding with the work that I did this afternoon, but I easily misunderstand government speak, so I appreciate your confirmation on that. Thank you.
That doesn't, just to clarify, that may not mean they're eligible for this particular program, because the staff at DHCD has been very clear with the fact that they're trying to figure it out. And so that's why we don't really have concrete information to share with you tonight. They're still working through all the logistics of this particular program.
Got it. Okay.
So we'll have a bucket out if it starts raining. The money starts falling. Any other board member comments?
But I hope that the Masonic Theatre does qualify for the nonprofit. But you don't know how they're going to pick which nonprofit they're going to help and not.
We still unknown. We're waiting on answers or guidance from the state.
Gayle had some pretty good thoughts when she wrote this letter. So I appreciate her saying that.
Yes, sir. And I'll share with you just Griff and I were on a conference call with VACO and deputy secretaries and 2 offices for the Commonwealth. And there's a lot of frustration in the gentleman, Bill Krieger, who's very active at VACO, just from the county level to the state level. The states receive the dollars, and it being pushed out to the counties and the cities and the towns and the businesses that have been impacted are having expenses hasn't occurred rapidly enough. And that was quite a bit of conversation. Mr. Krieger's chairman of the Board of Supervisors in Rockingham County, and he was very vocal with the folks from the state on the need for them to accelerate and really get these dollars moving throughout the Commonwealth. So hopefully we'll get guidance quickly from them.
He was right about one thing, we do live in a low-income area.
And if you don't keep pushing them, it'll all stay in Richmond.
Yeah, or Northern Virginia.
Absolutely.